This is ABC.
Coming up next on News Center 13, Superintendent Peter McWalters makes his recommendations on where to put new schools in Rochester.
Also, many changes in local politics tonight, including why there's controversy over the selection of a new mayor in Fairport, and how President Bush hopes to resolve the S&L crisis.
Winter's going to stay for the rest of the week.
And in sports, the Syracuse basketball team is looking pretty good.
All of that coming up next on News Center 13.
It lurks in homes like this, striking fear into the hearts of millions. And this year, if you're not careful, you might come face to face with it yourself. The wrong paint. Next time, get the right paint. One that always goes on smoothly in one coat. Glidden Spread Wall. Just $7.49 a gallon. Glidden. Your paint should be this good.
The Caribbean, Florida, Mexico, Hawaii. This winter, American Airlines will offer more flights to more sunny destinations than ever before. American Airlines, something special to the sun.
Now, some things just weren't meant to be. You wouldn't make a milkshake with ice cream and water. Cereal with water? And who's ever heard of cookies with water? And what's this? Hot chocolate and water? They just don't mix. Hot chocolate was meant to be made one way, with better tasting and nutritious real milk. So don't water down your hot chocolate. Love them with milk.
News Center 13 closed captioning is made possible by Citibank.
From Rochester's news source, WOKR. This is News Center 13 with Don Alhart, Wanda Miller, meteorologist Bill Peterson, and Doug Embledge on sports.
Good evening. It may not be as exciting to everyone as the Academy Awards, but the location of 4 new schools to be built in Rochester has a lot of people tense tonight.
Well, wonder wherever the schools go, some people, of course, will lose their homes. There just isn't that much vacant land left in Rochester. But schools also mean vitality and redevelopment. The City School District Administration tonight unveiled their top picks. David Burns is here now to tell us what they had to say. David?
Well, Don, you know there is hardly anything more important to neighborhoods than schools, and that's why this whole selection process is being watched so closely. The recommendations tonight are not the final word, but they are another step in that direction.
Did everybody get to the Portland-Scio site?
It didn't take Superintendent Peter McWalters long to get through the list of his recommendations for sites for new city schools. 2 new elementary schools, he said, should go to the northeast. One on the site of the former Jewish home, the other on the site of Old School 45. One middle school, McWalters recommends, should go on a site on Portland Avenue and Scio Street. Another, he says, should go at the old Madison High School site in the southwest. The Madison site has attracted more public reaction than any of the others. A wide range of Southwest community leaders lobbied for its selection in recent weeks. But the choice means relocating 100 or more area residents, and the community is concerned that anyone forced out get a fair deal.
There's room in the Southwest where those people could still stay in the Southwest and hopefully better their conditions, but there are always people that feels about their home that they don't want to leave their home. But I think we ought to be very positive and look at this as a betterment of those people.
And the final decision on the school sites will be made in March. The school board itself, Don, has to make the final determination.
Now, what about those who live in the homes now that would be displaced? What kind of arrangement will be made for that?
Well, the exact details haven't been worked out. City Hall actually will work that out. But in general, they go out and make usually about 3 appraisals of the property. And ordinarily, the homeowner gets the top appraisal. And, of course, there are some adjustments for relocation costs as well.
Okay. Thank you, David. Wanda?
The village of Fairport has a new mayor tonight. Republican board member Clark King was appointed today to replace the late mayor Vincent Kennelly, who died last month after years of service. As Charlotte Stevens reports, Fairport deputy mayor expected to be named to that position. Tonight, Donna Yeoman feels cheated.
Republican board member Clark King is now the mayor of Fairport. By a vote of 3-1, King was appointed to the spot left vacant by the late Fairport mayor Vincent Kennelly. King is excited about the appointment and says he has a definite vision for Fairport's future.
Well, I want to try to keep politics out of the village government. I think it's very important at this point in our government that we move on with the business of running the village.
Deputy Mayor Donna Yeoman shares King's concern for Fairport, but Yeoman says she was stripped of her leadership position in a politically motivated power play.
They decided that I really had not been very good about the last election. When I lost the Republican nomination, I did go to the Democrats and ran on the Democratic line. And they did not like that, and I was told that in the best interest of the party, I should not have sought the Democratic nomination.
David Glossner was deputy mayor of Fairport for 7 years before Yeoman was appointed to the position. Glossner says he did not support Yeoman because he does not believe in her leadership ability.
I think under the circumstances, Mr. King is the best person for the job.
What do you think Vincent Kennelly would think of all this?
I think he would be outraged. I think he would be outraged.
Why?
Because politics and people. You know, Vinnie always said people before politics, and I think politics are coming before people right now.
Donna Yeoman has no plans to resign. She will finish out her term as deputy mayor.
A special village election will be held in late November or early December. Clark King's appointment as mayor stands until December 31st. The winner of the special election will finish out Mayor Kennelly's term of 1 year, and then, Wanda, in the fall of 1990, there will be a regular village election.
Always a very difficult position to place everybody in.
It's touchy.
Will she, Donna Yeoman, run during that election?
I have a feeling she will.
Yeah, you kind of get that. Thank you. Charlotte Stevens.
We have some more leadership changes to pass along. Gatestown Supervisor Jack Hart made it official tonight. Addressing the town board, he said he will be retiring as of May 1st. He said the board knew in advance of his decision, in time, he says, to seek a replacement.
I also pointed out that the town board has had a couple of caucus sessions to discuss who would be my successor, and I would expect that on May the 1st, the town board would appoint Ralph Esposito as my successor as supervisor for the town of Gates.
Esposito, who is former deputy county executive under Lou Morin, was at tonight's meeting, confirming he had been contacted and willing, he says, to serve his community.
I think I have the administrative ability to offer the town. I have good contacts in New York and Albany and the county and other towns, so it's a good opportunity, I think, for me to get back in government, something I really wanted to do because I enjoy government service, and I think I will well serve the town.
And not far to go to work if he does get that job. Esposito lives about a half mile from Town Hall. And another Western supervisor also stepping down, this one a bit sooner. Greece supervisor Don Riley said today he's leaving the post he's held for 16 years. He'll handle real estate transactions for the Mark IV construction company. He'll step down on April 1st before his term expires, saying that decision is his own.
National Ambulance says it will review on Thursday procedures followed by one of their crews early this morning. A mother and child, the child thought to be stillborn, were taken to St. Mary's Hospital where the premature infant was found to be alive. State health officials want to know if the infant was examined before being transported to the hospital.
And Wanda, a bizarre accident has taken the life of a J Street man. Police say 52-year-old William Schur was working underneath a truck at his Marlowe Street body shop today when his shirt apparently became entangled in the drive shaft, pulling him into the vehicle. He was found by his daughter at around 4 o'clock today, taken to St. Mary's Hospital where he died about an hour later. An autopsy will be performed tomorrow.
Updating some other local stories in the news tonight. Their pain and grief first brought them together. Now their anger and frustration has further united them. 30 relatives of victims of Pan Am Flight 103 met in New York City today. They blamed the airline and the U.S. government for not making public terrorist threats against the airline. 4 local people were among those killed in that December crash. The United Way has added to the number of organizations it helps fund. Camp Good Days and Special Times joined up with the agency. The camp has been a happy haven for children with cancer for the last 10 years. And pop singer Rick James is in fair condition tonight following an accident this afternoon. The car crash occurred near James's Buffalo area home. The 40-year-old singer was admitted to the Erie County Medical Center with unspecified injuries.
He was in town just last week.
For the opening of the Ocean Club, right.
Well, time now to take a first look at our weather. Here's meteorologist Bill Peterson.
You know, the weather, winter weather, just sort of arrived, and it's like my mother-in-law doesn't want to leave. It has been here for a while to stay, at least the rest of the week. In the morning, some light snow, and temperatures will be about 15 degrees. And I've got some interesting weather in the week ahead.
And you'll pay for that remote,
I'm sure I will.
I'm sure she's out of town now. He would have said that.
Still to come on News Center 13, our Washington correspondent, Gary Nurnberg, on how President Bush hopes to resolve the S&L crisis.
Also, we'll tell you, sadly, why Kitty Dukakis is back in the news. And what former President Reagan was celebrating today.
Recently at Dick-Eyed Honda, we received the largest shipment of Hondas in our history. Now, that makes us the most motivated Honda dealers in Rochester. Now, we can't park them on top of each other, so we'd like to park them in your garage. With over 100 cars in his lot in January, Dick-Eyed stands alone as the most motivated Honda dealer in Rochester. Given these market conditions, we feel that there's no better time or place to buy than right now at Dick-Eyed Pontiac Honda.
Now, Arby's has delicious fish fillet sandwiches. Lightly breaded cod fillets with tartar sauce and lettuce. Catch one today.
Rochester's getting a new phone book. Its publisher is a company that's published a directory in Buffalo for 20 years. We think it will become this area's primary phone book.
Swain discount lift ticket coupons found in Wakeman's supermarkets. Film at 11.
And we've got the edge.
This portion of News Center 13 is brought to you by Lou Holtz Buick Isuzu.
President Bush has apparently passed his first major test in the eyes of Capitol Hill. He unveiled his plan to save the savings and loan industry from self-destruction. The president admitted he's not sure how S&Ls will react, and he says he can't guarantee they won't pass on higher fees to their customers. We have more from our Washington correspondent, Gary Nurnberg.
In all the time since creation of the deposit insurance, savers have not lost $1 of insured deposits, and I am determined that they never will.
The president's plan is designed to rescue 350 savings and loans still operating but essentially insolvent. The government would close many of the S&Ls and pay off depositors with the proceeds from bond sales. The Bush plan does not include that controversial fee on deposits that was suggested last month.
This is the fairest system that the best minds in this administration can come up with.
The president is calling for a new regulatory structure that would give additional S&L oversight authority to the Treasury Department. Bush avoids new taxes by increasing fees paid by S&Ls and by banks for the federal protection given their depositors. Martin Regalia is chief economist for the National Council of Savings Institutions.
He's recognized the problem, which is important. He has moved very quickly, which is important. And he has come up with what is a workable plan.
Legislators were consulted in advance and liked what they heard.
I think the proposal is by and large a sensible proposal. If you look at the part of it that deals with the structural reforms, I think the structural reforms make sense.
Legislative approval would normally be a lengthy process, but there is sentiment here today to make it work as quickly as they can.
I thank the Speaker.
Gary Nurnberg, News Center 13, Washington.
Local savings and loan associations are reportedly thriving. Columbia Banking, a local federal savings and loan association, is coming off 4 outstanding years of good earnings. Senior Vice President Thomas Bowers told reporter Charlotte Stevens the president's bailout plan will hopefully enhance the savings and loan industry.
There certainly need to be some adjustments made, and we're looking forward to understanding what the Bush plan will be. There certainly needs to be some adjustments, but we feel strongly there's a place for thrifts in the United States.
A First Federal Savings and Loan spokesperson says industry officials want to study the Bush plan before gauging its merits. First Federal is also reportedly healthy and enjoying 1988 pre-tax earnings of $25 million, up 120% over 1987.
Some other brief items around the world tonight include a vote in the House tomorrow on a 50% pay raise for members of Congress. Speaker Jim Wright caving into bipartisan pressure in a test vote today to have a public vote now on that unpopular issue. That will come tomorrow. Michael Dukakis says his presidential defeat is partly to blame for his wife's problem. Kitty Dukakis has now entered an alcohol treatment program in Rhode Island. She will stay there about a month to be treated for her dependency. And former President Ronald Reagan celebrated his 78th birthday on the campus of the University of Southern California today. The music supplied by the USC Marching Band. And what's he going to do in his retirement? For one thing, seek repeal of the 22nd Amendment, which limits a president to 2 terms in office. And no, that wasn't Frank Horton to the left of the president, although to me it looked
like him.
a lot
It
like
sure
him.
did. Well, still ahead, the forecast from Bill Peterson.
And coming up later in sports, Doug Emblers will look back on this Day of Champions in Rochester.
Seneca Hotel. I have a dog. Number 2, I may not have a wife anymore.
This is film reviewer Mike Sidoni recommending you don't miss the 1989 award-winning Buick and Isuzu performers at Lou Holtz Buick Isuzu. You'll be surprised how close up Lou Holtz Buick Isuzu is to your home. Only 12 minutes from Brighton, only 15 minutes from Pittsford. And for best direction, you'll find Lou Holtz Buick Isuzu just 1/2 mile east of the Lowe's 12-plex in Webster. And get a free pair of Lowe's tickets just for test driving a Buick or Isuzu.
The Caribbean, Florida, Mexico, Hawaii. This winter, American Airlines will offer more flights to more sunny destinations than ever before. American Airlines, something special to the sun.
At Chase Pitkin's Glidden Truckload Paint Sale and Sweepstakes, buy a gallon of spread wall for just $4.99 and get more paint for your money. Glidden Spread Satin, $6.99. Save big on Glidden Low Luster and Spread Enamel, too. Or you could win a trip on American Airlines to St. Croix, courtesy of VIP Travel. Or the grand prize of an '89 Ford Ranger from your Rochester area 4-county Ford team. The Glidden Truckload Paint Sale and Sweepstakes. Stock up now. Drive home a winner at Chase Pitkin.
With timeless style and enduring craftsmanship, Stickley is furniture you buy once to last a lifetime. And there's no better time to buy than now, during Stickley's Once for a Lifetime sale. Save on Stickley and on beautiful furniture from Henredon, Baker, Southwood Reproductions, Hickory Chair, fine leather furniture as well. And our sale special, the scallop top table, just $317. Save now at Stickley.
It is time now for meteorologist Bill Peterson. Bill, it is cold outside.
Yeah, it is, and it has been for most of last week, and it will be for the remainder of the week, Wanda. That cold air has come, and it looks like it is here to stay, and it looks like it will probably be Saturday before it gets back up in the 30s. Up until then, winter remains. We do have some light snow around the area. Live Rochester radar now on the 125-mile range. You can see the beauty of Rochester radar. Not only do we show you what's happening in Rochester, but look it over towards Niagara and Erie counties. You can see some lake effect snow also down off of Erie around Jamestown. There is some down and through parts of Wyoming County. And in these areas we could see up to about 2 inches of snow tonight. The rest of us will just see light snow, probably less than an inch, and so nothing major really to worry about. Our almanac shows we are 25 degrees today. Our low last night was 19. Compare that to the averages of 31 and 15. And the records were set back in 1938, 9 degrees below zero in 1948. Cloudy skies now at 21 degrees. It is not cooled off since 6 o'clock. That is what the temperature was at 6. Humidity at 75%. Winds now from the southwest at 12 miles an hour. Combine the temperature and the winds, and it feels like 4 degrees above zero out there. Most of the day it was below zero. Spotter for the day is William Blumino, and most of the spotters also did report some flurry activity, and anywhere from about 1 to about 3 inches. Up around Greece, about 2 3/4 inches of snow. Over around Irondequoit, about 2 1/4 inches, and then down towards Shortsville Academy in that area, anywhere from about 1 to about 2 1/2 inches. And you can see temperatures mainly in the 20s, a little bit cooler over at Mendon now at 13 degrees. Throughout western New York, it is 21 here in Rochester, Niagara Falls, and Buffalo, 22 and 20. North of the lake, temperatures also mainly in the teens. There's a slight warming trend now, but it's not going to be all that great. Over to the east, also temperatures now in the 20s. And across the country, we have seen some moderation in temperatures. It is now below zero into the mountainous regions and the plain states, but if you think back to last week, what it was like, temperatures out here were 30 and 40 degrees below zero at this time of night. Right now, they're just at zero or slightly below. Warm down into the southeast, and Florida still hanging on to those 50 and 60 degree temperatures. Hopefully that will continue, because if it does get cold, they will have some crop damage down there, and they certainly don't need that. Northeast view of the satellite, a little different projection. I explained this at 6 o'clock, but normally we have 2 GOES satellites, one over the east coast, one over the west coast. The one over the west coast broke, and we will be down to 1 satellite for the next year, and so they moved it over the central part of the country. Going to skip over the satellite loop and go right to our national satellite view, and you can see that we do in fact have that front down to the south of us. High pressure tries to dominate. There are some clouds in and around the area, and of course they will be with us for a while. Tuesday, some light flurry activity. Most of us will see about 1/2 to 1 inch. However, where the definite lake effect does set up, we could see up to 2 inches during the day tomorrow, but most of us will see around 1 inch. It will be cold. High pressure continues to dominate. Our forecast for tonight: some light snow, temperatures 10 to 15 degrees. 15 in the city and 10 away from the city. For tomorrow, we will see a mixture of sunshine and clouds. A day fairly much like today. Some light flurry activity. Southwest winds and temperatures tomorrow 22 to 27. The 3-day outlook for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Snow in the forecast of each of those 3 days, and our temperatures in the 20s and teens.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. We turn to sports right now and see what Doug has for us coming up next.
We will have a look at A.J. Kitt's downhill run at the World Skiing Championships today. Find out how the local skier did. And the Syracuse Orangemen looking for a 6th straight win tonight. News Center 13 Sports is next.
First time. A little double clutch. And indeed, look at him after.
With new channels and choices, cable is better than ever. Timeless classics like Jane Eyre and Vanity Fair, Hollywood's greatest films on TNT and American Movie Classics. The wonders of nature and science on the Discovery Channel. Blockbusters like Moonstruck and The Last Emperor. It's a great time to try cable, and now connection is just $5. Call GRC 987-6300.
Cable TV, watch and you'll see television that makes sense.
Shearson Lehman Hutton, where we stand. We believe that a national impatience has investors focused on short-term economic events, such as the latest trade deficit or unemployment rate. We believe the basis for sound investment decisions cannot be found in the currently fashionable number of the day, but in a return to far-sighted investing which promises the greatest long-term rewards. Shearson Lehman Hutton.
This is a sophisticated instrument, a nasal spray designed to gently relieve your stuffy nose and let you breathe freer for up to 12 hours. Nostrilla. It's a specially designed metered pump that releases a soft, penetrating, measured mist every time to give soothing relief fast and let you breathe freer for up to 12 hours. Gentle Nostrilla. Ah, relief.
Time now for a look at sports with Doug. We will mention later the honors he received tonight and congratulate you more officially in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Don.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Syracuse Orangemen have faced top 20 teams 4 times this year and won every time. Tonight, it was his second meeting with number 11, Seton Hall, before a sold-out arena at the Meadowlands. And Syracuse just keeps on winning. Even though P.J. Carlissimo's team was unbeaten at home this year, the Pirates grabbed the lead early. Watch Andrew Gaze make the unbelievable shot. 14-6 Seton Hall. The Orange came right back. The alley-oop from Douglas to Thompson tied the game at 14. Later, Douglas took it himself and hits the layup. He drew the foul. Douglas had 28, and Syracuse is up 42-36 at the half. Second half, off the steal, Thompson would get the slam, though Boeheim didn't like it. The Orange lead was 14. Thompson had 21 tonight. But Seton Hall did not quit. Ramon Ramos, who had 24, gets the foul. The lead cut to 4 late in this game. SU made some key free throws down the stretch, then put it away. Watch Sherman with the little tip to Steven Thompson. And Syracuse comes away with its 21st straight win over Seton Hall, 85-79. A week from tonight, it's the showdown between Syracuse and Georgetown. Syracuse was 9th in this week's AP poll, and the #1 spot keeps changing hands. Arizona now the top-ranked team in the country. Tonight it was Oklahoma over Iowa State, and Florida State beat Louisville 81-78. In the second half, Ohio State is out in front of Purdue. Virginia, another upset for them as they beat Georgia Tech. Temple beat the Bonnies tonight, and Wilson's Burness Green had a career-high 33 for Brockport, but they lost to Penn State Barron. There's been a changing of the guard in the Section 5 boys basketball until this afternoon's game with East. Franklin's only losses were in the record book, forfeits because of an ineligible player on the team. Well, today the Quakers lost for real. Former #1 Franklin at former #2 East. These two have switched spots now in our poll. East trying to build on a 5-point lead at the half. Reggie Smith takes control after the block, drives, and scores. He also drew the foul and converted the 3-point play. Franklin tried to stay close. Alvin Mobley persists underneath and finally gets the ball to fall, and the Franklin fans are celebrating, but didn't last long. This is Terrence Mitchell going the baseline, and East had itself an upset in the making. Sean Johnson had 24 for East in an 89-74 win. Rush Henrietta beat Gates Chili tonight 80-60. It was Brockport over Olympia, and Spencerport beat Churchfield Chili by 20. This week's coaches poll reflects that win by East this afternoon. The Orientals take over the top spot, then it's Franklin, Webster, RH, and Fairport. Lions still the top small school, then Clyde, Savannah, East Rochester's 3rd, Newark 4th, and Avoca 5th. The Rochester Press Radio Club held its Day of Champions today to benefit the club's children's charities. The day begins bright and early with a breakfast sponsored by WHAM, then it's WVOR's Women's Sports Luncheon, and finally the dinner celebrating its 40th anniversary tonight. Jim Kelly, among the many athletes honored today, he was named the club's Man of the Year and received a portrait of himself, and a nice one at that. It was Kimberly Hunt of Addison High and Martin Averill of Dundee given the $1,000 Harvey Anderson scholarships. And Olympic pitcher Jim Abbott was there today. The Sullivan Award winner will play for the Angels.
It was a great time. I tell you, we were over there for 14 days. We played 5 games. We had time in between. We went out. We saw Seoul. It was an exciting place. You know, even if we never would have played a game, I'd remember it as having been the time of my life.
Jim Abbott has one hand. He won the prestigious Sullivan Award, as we mentioned, and will play, drafted by the California Angels, so will play pro ball. A surprise winner at the men's downhill of the World Alpine Skiing Championships today at Beaver Creek, Colorado. Little-known Hans-Georg Toscher won for the first time in his 3 years on the World Cup circuit. 21-year-old from West Germany. Edge defending champ Peter Mueller of Switzerland. Some of the favorites were not even in the top 10. A.J. Kidd of Gates was 32nd. Kidd considered one of the top prospects for the U.S. Will ski later in the Super G. He was 3rd among U.S. skiers today. The Amerks, who had a big win over the weekend, couple big wins over the weekend, will leave tomorrow on a road trip. And Jim Ringo is retired as the Bills' offensive coordinator. That's sports.
Okay, thank you, Doug.
When we come back, we will recap Bill's forecast.
And share one more award passed out at tonight's sports banquet.
It lurks in homes like this, striking fear into the hearts of millions. And this year, if you're not careful, you might come face to face with it yourself. The wrong paint. Next time, get the right paint. One that always goes on smoothly in one coat. Glidden Spread Wall, just $7.49 a gallon. Glidden, your paint should be this good.
Why did I buy a Chevy Cavalier? Well, I looked at Ford Escorts and Hyundai XLs, and they were much too small. Toyota, Honda? Well, you know the price of Japanese cars. Now here's the car, a Chevy Cavalier with a new 3-year, 50,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty that Ford and Hyundai don't even offer. I've compared quality and price. Cavalier's the car.
And now get 4.9% financing or $600 cash back on Cavalier at your hometown Chevy dealer.
Vail, Colorado, America's #1 ski destination. A European-style ski resort where you set the pace for winter vacation freedom and fun. Experience exquisite shopping and the excitement of the magnificent Rocky Mountains. Complete 4-day alpine adventure ski packages, including lodging and lift tickets, start at just $353 per person. For Vail reservations, call 1-800-525-2257.
We wanted our new home to really make an impression. Lincoln Wood Windows offered us more selection, more colors, better performance, and they didn't cost any more.
If you're building a new home, insist upon the quality, the selection, the value of Lincoln Wood Windows. Available today at the Window and Door Experts on Lyle Avenue. Rochester Colonial Manufacturing.
Keep the long johns handy. It's going to be another cold one.
It is, and we do have some snow falling around at least portions of our viewing area. Looking at live Rochester radar now, you can see the snow actually coming. I don't know where snakes came from. You can see the snow coming off of Lake. That's where it came from, Erie and Ontario.
Okay,
snakes.
Thank you, Bill.
Yep.
Finally, you have already heard about tonight's press radio dinner, but we want to add that one of our own, very special one of our own, was also honored tonight.
WOKR Sports Director Doug English received the Lowell McMillan Award, presented each year to someone who has exhibited sports casting excellence. Doug was honored for his enthusiasm and professionalism in making Channel 13 sportscast, quote, major league productions. Let's listen here a second.
And the rest of the people at Channel 13, especially the anchors who put up with me running in at the last minute every single night and making a lot of noise.
We want to add our congratulations to those who...
Bill Peterson, Wanda Miller, and Don are all here tonight sitting way back in the corner.
Way back in the corner he threw us. Do you think that was on purpose?
Well, at least he bought the tickets, so...
Yes, that's quite right. We want to say congratulations.
Congratulations.
Most deserving.
I don't get nervous doing this, and I don't usually get nervous speaking, but that was a big crowd. I'm a little nervous tonight.
Big, important, a very impressive crowd tonight. Jerry Flynn, Master of Ceremonies for the 40th year, and
he's something else, isn't he?
This week, so
yeah. Wish him the best. Friday he goes in. He's got 2 more dinners to do before he has the surgery. So.
Okay.
Good luck to him.
Thank you, and good luck again. Congratulations.
Yes.
We thank you for joining us. USA Today up next tonight, how the Border Patrol is waging a war against drugs. That followed by Nightline.
Tomorrow night at 6, Jim Redmond looks at the condition of local adult care homes in the special report, Critical Condition. We thank you much for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow night.